Hello. I'm just gonna get right into the coloring. And I got a new one, bit palette 2. No, 3. 3-bit palette is what I've got. And I had a look through and it's got a doggy as like the first one, but also it's got a bunch of like fantasy ones as well. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, but I'm down for it. And I did get a fine arts one as well, which I thought would just be an interesting undertaking to try to do. These first few are gonna go really quick because they're small. And I'm feeling this music today as well. Need to get some energy back in me. Get motivated again. I've not been motivated. I had like a brief couple of days. I was motivated. Hello, Cheddar. Oh, yeah, Cheddar. Yeah, I guess it is Cheddar. It's Cheddar. That duplicitous bitch. How you, Conan? You right? Cheddar wears little boots, or Cheddar wears nothing at all. You don't mess. You've messed with the wrong fluffy boy. Wait, his mouth looks kind of. Is he like? Is it a big smile? I think. It's so funny. I'm thinking like the juxtaposition. I was like, I'm playing this music today, and then I'm coloring in a corgi. This is Cheddar, yeah. We're gonna make this Cheddar now. It's canon. What are we missing? Oh, more? Ah, there we are. Oh, what you been up to today, Kenan? I was actually gonna ask because I misunderstood the days, and I was gonna ask if you were available on Friday. Still available on the weekend, but like I thought I'd ask if you were down for Friday. This is getting done quick. Was thinking about what, like, puppy. Hey, Adam. I was thinking about what like game would be next as well. Like, we got Resident Evil. in the works. We're gonna finish. We're halfway through South of Midnight, and we've got Dark Dream D4. Dark Dreams Don't Die. Midnight isn't. Yeah, we finished at the beginning of chapter 7. Out of 14, I believe. And I'll be very honest, it's a very okay game. Like, I'd like it to start picking up a bit. And that was 4 hours. I'd have to check the VOD. I think it was like more than, it was over 5 hours, wasn't it? Because we did other stuff on that as well, that stream. Right? But yeah, it's a good game. It's just not been hitting like I thought it would yet. You know, at 4.5 hours. Oh, okay. Like it's got this story of like finding the mum, but then like the main character is just doesn't. I don't know. It feels a little disconnected. Like she doesn't feel like it's a great foundation for everything. Yeah, like it's a really cool concept. That the style is really great. The art style, I really like it. There's a lot I like about the game. I just like it just doesn't feel. It feels too like Hazel is just like way too just casual about everything. Like I feel like it could have done with like an element of horror to it to just set the mood and the vibe of things a bit more. It's as if they wanted a fun, like quirky story, but then and then kept that despite the story being about, you know, her mum getting lost in the house in a flood and all that stuff. And it's just a bit. It's hard to explain. Hazel just doesn't seem. Yeah, she just kind of like found the stuff and was like, okay, cool. And then it was like, I'm fighting these creatures and I'm doing all this other stuff and I'm learning these abilities and it just came naturally to me, sort of thing. Like, it's not. She's not a Mary Sue character. She's not. It just seemed like it skipped a few steps. You know? Like it just sort of felt like she's like, oh, I found this stuff and it's not very well like yeah, it's pacing. It feels a bit like it doesn't know if it wants to be fun and goofy or dramatic, and it doesn't feel like they are it hasn't blended those two elements well, which can be blended together really well. You know, like there's plenty of examples of like stories that inject a lot of humor, but then like turn up the drama when it calls for it. But like I got really thrown off when we just had the fight with Two Toe Tom, Crocodile, and it was like, oh, turns out the town's local celebrity killed her dad by having him be eaten by a crocodile alive. And oh, turns out I had an aunt, but my dad accidentally drowned her when she was little, when he was like 4. And all this other stuff. And then it just never, you never feel the weight of those, like, those story beats. Like, it's just like, that happened anyway, we're gonna play this whimsical song over the top of we're gonna play this whimsical song over the top of your boss fight. And then afterwards she just walked out of this cave after joking around with like herself or whatever, and defeating the crocodile and being like jokey and fun. We're talking about South of Midnight. How like it's a good game, but it just seems to miss the mark on a few things so far. Because like it really was, it was actually jarring. There was a scene right after we defeated the crocodile where it was playing that like music and, you know, the happy-go-lucky song, and then she just walks out of this like crevice and then just starts crying, like really, really, like sobbing, crying, and it felt so sudden with no build up. As if it was like, okay, we need a scene where she starts breaking down from the journey she's going on. Okay, let's do that scene, but but then like they didn't, you know, give a reason for it to be there. I'm not explaining it well, but like it just happened, and it was like, okay, now she's crying, and then within the same breath, she started talking to the catfish again and cracking jokes. And and her crying was just never brought up again. It's very like, I just don't think they necessarily blended things together very well. They've got the story beats, they got the ideas. I just don't think they executed them very realistically. It's, you know, and I don't know, maybe that's a writing issue. Seems realistic. No time to cry in an intense adrenaline fight. Afterwards, you feel exhausted. The joking sounds weird though. Well, it was just that like she's been through a lot already. Like we're like we were just shy of halfway through the game, and the sobbing, it just comes completely out of nowhere. And then before I even had time to question like why she was crying and what it was that made her cry, she was just back to like making like cracking jokes and with the thing, and it just didn't feel natural, I guess. There wasn't even a moment where she sort of like stopped, paused, and collected herself after the tears and kind of started giggling because the catfish made her laugh. It was just like sobbing to anyway, like, and it genuinely just like threw me off in that moment. I was like, what just happened? Like it was almost like, and I don't want to say it because it sounds bad, but like it felt like I just witnessed a very drastic mood swing. Does gameplay make up for it? Only just. The combat encounters have started to feel quite repetitive. But they are very quick and they don't last long. All the boss fights have been unique, and the game's pacing when you're not in a cutscene, when you're in gameplay, its pacing is just like forward, like non-stop, which is good. Because I think if it did, you know, go up and down a bit, it would probably, you'd probably feel like it was being a bit of a slog. But it never once felt like it was dragging on. And you know, for all the bad, like the negative things I've said about it so far, like the combat is fun. It just hasn't, like, it was fun, but then I kind of quickly realized, I was like, oh, it's not really evolving much from this sort of thing. Like, this is what it's going to be. At least it's over quick, you know. Like, that was the kind of thought I had. But like, I mean, like, again, its art style and design is really, really well done. I really, really like it. The voice acting feels very natural, even if the writing can sometimes throw you off. The voice acting is very good. And so I'm engaged in the story because the actors are keeping me engaged. I like the music in the trailer. Does that reflect the in-game soundtrack? Yes and no. When you are playing just through the game, the ambient soundtrack is really cool. Like, the background music is really cool. With cutscenes and there's music playing over the cutscene in the background, it's really good. I like it. My issue has been, and it has been an issue for some others in chat as well, is that, like, during boss fights, they insist on playing these original songs that are like stories. Like, it's a song version of the story of the boss that you're fighting. But the songs are just not very well written. I would, if I'm being very critical, say it's not particularly well sung either. and a lot of it just doesn't sound like the singing is just not in rhythm to the actual music that's playing. It feels quite out of place and jarring, and it's not, the songs aren't mixed well. And so, like, you know, I love that vibe of music, but it's just not great music during the boss fights. Otherwise, the music has been good. The boss fight music, because again, that was what I was saying, kind of when you first like came into chat, was the issue I had was you were fighting this building-sized crocodile that you just saw swallow your house that you believed your mum to be inside of. The character doesn't at any point seem to be in a state of panic or rush. She just kind of like makes a like insults the crocodile in a jokey way. And then when you're chasing the crocodile and doing the boss fight, which again is this, you are fighting a giant island-sized crocodile. When earlier that morning you just watched your mum get dragged away by a storm, and you've also found out that you have magic powers, or this has all happened in a day, and you're fighting this crocodile, and it's just got this like kind of like whimsical what is the Disney it's very Disney musical-esque, and it just did not fit the moment. I was like, I wanted to be like, I'm gonna take this crocodile down and save my mum, but then like the music is trying to tell me that like I'm having this fun whimsical moment, and then like right after that, it is when she just bursts out crying for like all of 30 seconds, and then just stops, and then just carries on as she was before. So like it's got, as like Adam said as well, it's got the foundations to be really good, and I hope that the developers' future games, they can learn and grow as developers and writers, and because it has the potential to be really good. It just doesn't give itself enough weight to the subject matters, I think. It keeps them light-hearted and fun, but then you're just like, that doesn't feel right. You're like, you're like trying to tell me like this harrowing story and this mystery of what a weaver is and this magic that's in the world, and yet you're not really like portraying that. You're portraying this whimsical Disney adventure almost. Hey, Jay Blair. That being said, again, like I am having enough fun with the game that I am not abandoning it. I do want to finish it, but I do hope that it picks up, because if it continues as it has been so far to the end of the game, it probably will feel just kind of like a very meh game that could have been so much better. Like something weird that like they introduced at the very beginning when you first unlock your powers. They introduced this character called Rue, and he was like, "You're not supposed to be here in this like dream magic world." And I'm sure he's going to come back at some point, but we've not seen him since, and there's not been a mention of him since. And I'm confused as to who can see what and what is actually real and what is something only a Weaver can see. Because I was like, is the giant island-sized crocodile real? I think it is. But I don't know. It's I'd like to play it some more, you know, for sure, and get into it, and but like yeah, everything is there. It's just I guess just not executed well. It's not poor and vague writing or deliberate storytelling to make you question things. I've got to be honest. I think it's down to the writing. Um, like the it's hard to explain, but like there was a flood, but then like you're in areas that have to me seem very magical in the way they're designed. And it's not really and she was even at one point early in the game she went, where am I, like as if to be like, am I somewhere else, did the world change, what happened? Again, never touched upon again. She's not mentioned the environment again since, and yet it still feels like I can't tell if we are in a Magic Weaver world or if we are just in a town in Louisiana that was flooded. It it confuses me, but not because of its good, not intentionally. I really don't feel like it's intentionally leaving the player confused. It just I it's like if a writer had a ton of cool ideas but had no way of figuring out how to put them together. Like really cool ideas, just did not know how to connect them. And I do feel like I'm being overly harsh and critical. Um, and I think maybe it is because I wanted it to be more. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's just a very confusing. Do you think it'll come together? I'm hoping it will. If the game continues as it has been, I'm just gonna be left. I'd be left confused and unsatisfied, and it would be that like sort of thing of like, huh, well that was a thing. you know. um, I do hope it kicks into like fifth gear and starts um starts coming together. But I'm not holding my breath. I mean, like, again, the combat, it's introduced new enemies, and it tells you, it teaches you how to fight these new enemies and like what special mechanic these enemies have. But you can literally just dash around and mash X, and you can still just kill them all. And it the combat definitely feels like it's plateaued, and it felt like that really early on, like that it wasn't gonna suddenly up the ante. You just kind of stumble across these areas where these creatures called hates spawn. You fight them. There's a little health orb to pick up if you need it, and then once you fight them and kill them, you clear the area by unraveling the bad thing in the center, and then you just move on. And they never really feel that different. I actually I want to start speaking positively about the game now, because I feel like I am being very negative. Like again, like I one thing I credited the game on in the beginning is the voice acting felt very natural and real. Like there's games where and even movies where like a character will say something and you're like, dude, no one says that in real life, you know. Like no one says that in real life. That's not normal. This has all felt it's all felt very natural, and I think the voice actors are doing a fantastic job. Um, Again, the creature designs have been really really cool and unique and interesting. Um, and the environment has kept me engaged. It just does certain things in the other categories that pull me out of those moments. And I'm like, like I was enjoying that. I'll do this one. Look at this. It's like a classic fantasy, like VHS cover. Look at that. And to its credit again, like I I I do want to go back and play more in the hopes that it does come together, and because like I want to know if her mum's alive. But like because she is ultimately just looking for her mum after a flood, but the house she was supposedly in, if she was or is still in the house, was like thrown down a river, like thrown across the town, has had parts ripped off and was eaten by a giant crocodile. And she's still just like, my mum was in that crocodile. And I'm like, she was still alive? She just got ate. But then we were in the crocodile ourselves. And then she was like, I guess my mum was not in there. So I'm like, and every time we do like a chapter, we find a memory, or we find an object from the house that acts as a memory of like her mum talking about her struggles with her job and wishing she could do more to help people. And so then like Hazel, the main character, is like, oh, I never realized how much my mum was struggling and stuff like that. I definitely need to give it a fair full playthrough because my opinions might change. But to make a short story short, talented artists, talented devs, talented voice acting, poor writing. You know, because like it's kept me interested enough that I want to go back and play it and finish it. But at the same time, I wouldn't be mad if I didn't play it again. I wouldn't feel like I needed closure. I'd just be like, oh, okay, I'm not playing that anymore. And move on. You know. But we'll see today. We'll see. I don't know that we'll finish it, but it's funny to sit down and explain to her mum was dead. There were some people in the church that did try. They were like, look, if your mum is still out there, then we should stay at the church and wait till help arrives. And, you know, she was like, no, I gotta go find my mom. But, do you know, I don't mean to keep going on about it, but like, it's had some really heavy topics, but it just doesn't feel like those topics are being given the care and gravity that they deserve. Like again, she found out her dad, who died when she was 4, had a sister that he accidentally drowned because his mum hated him and didn't want him. Seemingly, she was not nice to him. She was abusive to him. And when she got dirt on her, when the API latency, I've had some of my messages take like a second to actually send. Like they stay faded out and then they send. Like there's a little bit of a delay in the message sending, I noticed. But that's about it. Discord updates, man. But we're probably working on something right now, so that might be like why it's happened. But yeah, so like, you know, and her dad as a kid was blamed by the mum for the little girl who was playing outside getting dirt on her dress, and he was blamed for not watching her when she nearly fell off of a toy house, despite the mum being there and just not watching the kid herself either. So she, like, there's this whole thing of like the dad as a kid was really not treated well or nurtured or cared for by the mum, Hazel's grandmother, Bunny. And that's perhaps why she was always not allowed to visit her grandma, because they of this like estranged relationship. And then like when you know, his sister, when they were kids and his sister got dirt on her dress again, he was so afraid of being scolded by his mum again that he tried to wash her in the river and accidentally drowned her. Like, that's a really, really heavy topic. Another really heavy topic was the local celebrity's dad was a rather pious, zealous, religious man who believed he had control over his daughter, like he could tell her what to do, basically. And he had this pet alligator, and eventually, to rid herself of her dad, she waited until he had fallen asleep and rang the dinner bell for the crocodile so the crocodile would eat her dad alive. And we learn these like little stories about the people in the town that are like kind of insanely dark, and then nothing else happens. It just moves on. And she does, and like Hazel doesn't seem remotely bothered about what she's learned, except for the brief moment where she's like, I can't believe Jolene would do that. Anyway. Yeah, and the boss music, it's telling the story of everything that just happened, about that you've seen in these dream sequences when you unravel the thread. And again, it's those songs just, I don't think they're very well written songs. I also don't think they were written by lyricists. I think they were written by the writers. If I was to take a guess. I also don't necessarily think that they were particularly sung very well either. A lot of them have been off key. haven't even necessarily fit the rhythm of the song, of the music, you know, the instrumental. Yeah, I mean, they could have gone with original stuff, but just did better, you know? And I really thought it was going to lean more into, like, especially in the beginning, I really thought it was going to lean more into um the culture, religion, and mythology of like Haitian voodoo and like, you know, legends of the bayou and really like tell those kinds of stories and sort of bring those stories some attention. um but it really just, it feels like it's just kind of used that as a template. And I, you know, I don't necessarily feel like I should be saying that because you know, it's not something that I'm a part of. I'm not like, I've never had that be part of like my own culture. So like there might be people that really click with it, but it just doesn't seem, it seemed like it was just chosen, used as a springboard to tell a different story. It was during the Two-Toed Tom fight that the singer who is supposed to be Jolene was trying to sound somewhat like Dolly Parton, who sang the song Jolene. Yeah, yeah, I noticed that too. I felt that as well. I think you know, I think she was named Jolene and sung the way she did, and even is characterized the way she is as to be a reference to Dolly Parton, which, you know, that can be fine in and of itself, but yeah, it sounded like she was trying to sing like Dolly Parton. Um, when I would have just seen if I could get Dolly Parton. Like, hey, do you want to sing this song for this game? I think this is supposed to be like a Conan the Barbarian type old movie poster. One second. I'm gonna finish this guy. But yeah, like I said, we will be continuing to play it and, you know, giving it the benefit of the doubt. Alright, 1 second, chat. I'll BRB. Okay, sorry, I'm back. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I will beat it. I will beat the game. Because I think that's a good way to sum it up, is that like it's engaging, but then makes decisions that really throw you off. And like not in a good way. But yeah, that's enough about the game anyway. I've just spent like the last 40 minutes like dunking on it, which I feel bad about because again, I am enjoying it still. In spite of all those things, or despite of all those things, I should say. Here's the thing though, as well, is I don't know what to play next. Should I give Kazan the Berserker game a go? I've heard good things. Latency issue seems to have passed. So it was just lagging a bit then, basically. I don't know. Okay, so I'm trying to work out time wise how long I would be streaming for. Um, it's 9:30 now. PM. And I think 3.5 hours. Yeah, because it's 1 o'clock, right? 8 p.m. my time. That doesn't. I don't know what your time is. Okay. Yeah, I think I worked it out that it's 1 a.m. my time, and it's currently 25 minutes past 9. I'll best crack on then. Let's get this done, and we can move over to the game I've just been dunking on, and we will enjoy it. Or shall I do the A to Z of games today and play D4? Might seem like it will be a better use of the time. Oh, is this Golden Axe? Might do D4. Are you guys down for D4, or do you want to see South of Midnight? Because if I do D4 today, then I'll do South of Midnight. Obviously, the next available day. If South of Midnight is another 4 or so hours, you won't complete it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, if it takes about as how long as it did last time, then I'll be left with like like an hour left of it, which makes for awkward timing. So it might be better to save it when I have a bit more of an idea of how much time I have. So yeah, we can see what kind of craziness D4 gives us. And I'll tell you what we will do, just in case ending stream ends up being like a little bit of a rush. For people, we can pick the E game first before we play. Does that sound good? Dude, do you remember? Was it like the 70s where they just had a ton of like these fantasy exploitation movies, and they were just like there was just like too many to count, and it was always just like some like jacked dude who was just like, you know, I don't know, an Austrian bodybuilder, um, who hadn't really acted before, and then like a bunch of supermodels that just wore like fur bikinis because they were cave women, you know, and like you'd fight some sort of monster that you never quite actually physically saw on camera, and then there was like an evil warlord that imprisoned the women, and he had to save the women. Like, I wonder how much of a laugh it would be to just go back and like watch all those like old exploitation movies and stuff. Or are they categorized as exploitation, or are they categorized as sexploitation? Because I think exploitation movies were considered stuff that like used things like life of like an Italian New Yorker crime family was like an exploitation movie. I forget how they like categorize it. I always remember as well they had like the coolest looking monster on the cover art, and I was like, oh man, I want to see that creature. And then like because it was like low budget, it ended up just being like some pretty okay-ish designed costume that was, you know, hiding in the shadows of a cave, and it was only like in the first 15 minutes of the movie, and then like the rest is just them like running around a desert and climbing over the hills and occasionally fighting some bandits and stuff like that. Boom. There we go. Right. I actually have someone bringing me something in a moment, so we're gonna just start another one, and then I'll swap over. When I have been brought less stuff. I think this one is Akira themed. I mean, I don't think I know this one's Akira themed. All right. Yeah, can you tell? Oh, no, spoilers. Oh, that is way pinker than I thought it was. Do you remember what movie was meant to be the Star Wars killer movie? Hello, Beans. Why are you hunting? Oh god. Something about being pink. Oh, just this color is just way pinker than it looked like it was. How are you, Beans? Good thing I got the context. I guess. Sometimes it's more fun without context. Beep 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 beep. 2. About to start painting. Your first mini? A Canon painting? What was this about Star Wars? Oh, there was a movie that came out that they were like trying to like make. It was capitalizing on the popularity of Star Wars, and it was like marketed by some people as like, oh, this is gonna like kill Star Wars because this movie's so much gonna be so much better. And what all I remember from it was that the main protagonist um had his weapon was a golden bejeweled glaive. No, not a glaive. Was it? Is it a glaive? It was like a spinning star that he threw. I can't for the life of me think about the name of the movie. It's not Spaceballs. He had a golden spinning star as a weapon, and it was like sci-fi, and like I think by all accounts it was like a pretty decently done movie. They invested a lot of money into it because they were trying to compete with Star Wars. Um, but it just didn't, you know, do well. If anyone couldn't find it, Dune 2, no, it's not Dune. Star Trek 4. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, Krull. Krull. That's what it is. Krull. Let me. Here you go. Be right back, chat. I'm back. Also, before we continue with this, does anyone recognize this guy? Anyone recognize him? You? No, shut up. It was your mum. Yep, there's the throwing star. Krull. So anyway, yeah, that's Krull. That was supposed to beat Star Wars. With my music. Did it? Absolutely not. Are we on the 10th Krull movie? No, but I'm pretty sure that guy is the I might be wrong, but the Hagrid actor? Again, I could be wrong. I'm still not actually seen it. I want to watch it. You're right for once. Yay! I remember him being in it, but like I wasn't sure if I was misremembering. Rob Col Robbie Coltrane, right? R.I.P. Who was Robert Baratheon? Because I know that wasn't Robbie Coltrane, but I whenever I think of that actor, I can't help but think of Robbie Coltrane, even though I know it's not Robbie Coltrane. Uh-oh, Stinky. Uh-oh, Stinky. All right, we'll finish this real quick because and then we'll get into D4. Mark Addy, that's it. Thank you. Hands up, who has not seen Akira? You've not? Anna. Wait, neither of you have seen Akira? All right, movie night. I've only seen Akira bike compilations on YouTube. Oh my god. Am I the one? Am I out animating people right now? Is this what it feels like? What's an Akira? Wait, Jay Blair, Visa, neither. Has anyone in this chat seen Akira? And I'm always positive like Kenji has, at least. I'm here, dumbass. Well, speak then, dumbass. Is it not pronounced Akira? 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 Isn't that what I'm saying? I'm confused. Akira. Would it be technically like Akira? You gotta emphasize the first part. Akira. It's just A-A-I-R-A. Akira. I don't like. We gotta set up a movie night again. I can't believe none of you have watched Akira. SMH. I'm trying to race through this one though. I love that in this type of music. The bleh. Just a noise. So many people do it. Bleh. Wow, she is sunburnt. Okay. We've done that. For a little bit of mine from the last little company stream we did. It was very fun. Oh yeah, I saw you say I read it like after I woke up in the middle of like the middle of my sleep, so I didn't end up responding. But like the summoning circle with shrimp, yeah. Definitely something I would have put on the shorts channel if people clipped it. Those were mimics pretending to be us. That's actually kind of scary. Because it sounds so natural. That's really freaky. Why is it so good? Does it just like capture your audio and then replay it? That's really. But like, where were the mimics then? Because I don't think I ever saw them. Hiding to lure you in. That's weird. It's so effective. I'm not going to trust anyone anymore. You're going to be like, hey, and Kong will be like, you're not real. Get away from me. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, 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 diddly, diddly. Let's get this done. I like modding. Nearly there. Kind of. How much time we got? Just need 10, right? 12, 3 hours? Psychotic god. I'll take that as a compliment. I think that was canon. Was it not? That was me. She's gonna kill your D&D cat. It's gonna skin you alive. That's rich coming from a snake. Oh, we're not done. Hold on. Oh my god, little knuckle. Jesus Christ. Made 2 clips last night. But one, what did you clip? Cannon getting circled and me dancing on your corpse. There is a weird glitch, and I don't know if is it mod related when like I thought I can't remember who it was, but I thought someone had picked up Snake's body, and Snake was like, "No, they're holding your body." I was like, "Oh, on my screen it's your body." It's almost as if when you're dead, it puts your skin on the body of someone else that I don't know. It's weird. To there. All right. Home stretch. Oh my god, what's the? Oh, I missed quite a bit. It sounds like a pressure mine almost. Oh my god, where is that? There. 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 Dude, I missed these like single little things. I'm so close to the end and it feels like it's taking forever. Oh, dude, I bet a larger Akira mini would be really cool to paint. I might make that my next one, and then I might try the non-metallic technique and fail miserably, and then get upset with myself that it felt like I ruined it and wasted it, and then I'll throw it out, and then you guys will never see it. It's probably how it's gonna go. I don't think I saw that one. The VODs were there when I went. See. Oh yeah, VODs don't save. VODs are only like a couple of days for non-affiliates now, right? I think it's only like a few days. Boom!